خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر والسماء ذات الرجع والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالكذب إنه لقول فصل إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمثل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah for that beautiful recitation, Brother Mehdi Hashmati. It's very much appreciated to start the event in the best way possible. So thank you very much for reciting. So before we go ahead, just so I can reiterate, today, inshallah, we will have a speech by, or a talk, I should say, by Sheikh Nabil Awan, and then recitations by Sayyid Ali Hakim. Following that, we will have our quiz, inshallah, which will consist of 50 questions. They will be more general knowledge, Islamic related today, rather than just focusing on one aspect of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So hopefully you guys can all take part and win some prizes, inshallah. So I would like to now introduce our speaker, Sheikh Nabil Awan. If you are happy and ready to go ahead, please let me know by unmuting yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you, Sheikhna?
Alhamdulillah, fine, thank you.
good, alhamdulillah. I'm just going to replace your pin now. Feel free to go ahead. Bismillah.
ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته. ثم الصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد، وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأطهرين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمهم فداء. أما بعد, all praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one who's Rahman and one who's Rahim. Yesterday we had said that today we will look at the idea of ihsan, the idea of doing good. Throughout the Holy Quran, this concept is mentioned, and I want to try and explain and expand as to what is meant by ihsan using a hadith from Imam al-Hasan salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. When it comes to ihsan in the Holy Quran, in Surah Yunus, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 26 talks about the blessings upon the people who do ihsan. He says, لِلَّذِي أَحْسَنُوا, so those who do good, the reward for them is al-husna, the reward for them is good. وَزِيَادَةٌ وَلَا يَرْحَقُ وُجُوهُهُم, وَزِيَادَةٌ, and more. Now Mufassirin have postulated over what exactly is meant by this more. And they're saying that it's something that is hidden with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the same way that, you know, when you don't want to tell someone what you're going to get them, or you want to surprise them, you know, you'll say, you know, there's, you know, I've got you a bike and more. You know, if you're trying to tell your children, or you're trying to surprise your siblings, you know, there is more. You know, so this here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala almost teasing us, saying, look, the result of good will be good. وَزِيَادَةٌ, and something more. وَلَا يَرْحَقُ وُجُوهَهُمْ قَطَرٌ وَلَا ذِلَّةٌ, and you will find that these individuals that do good, their face will not be covered in the dust of the darkness of humiliation. أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, and then the fourth thing that they will receive is a place to dwell within heaven, and there they shall remain in it forever. So that's the result of those that do ihsan. And ihsan is so, or doing good is so important that in an ayah of the Holy Quran that I'm sure you all know off by heart, in Surah An-Nahl, verse number 90, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a summary of the whole religion with 3 do's and 3 don'ts. He says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ. Says that, and surely Allah calls you towards يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ, He calls you towards justice, وَالْإِحْسَانِ, and to do good, وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى, and to enjoin or to create that relationship with your family members. وَيَنْهَى, and then the 3 don'ts. عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ, He forbids you from doing indecency. وَالْمُنْكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ, and evil and rebellion, يعظكم يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. And surely he admonishes you, he reminds you so that you may be mindful. Again, awaking from a state of ghafla. But one of those essential criteria was ihsan. So ihsan is a way of achieving success within the dunya and in the akhirah. What is ihsan? We said translates as good. But what good? Is there any specific type of good that we need to be doing? Imam al-Hasan salatullah wa salamuhu alayhi has a riwayah that he says that ihsan is of three types. Says of these three types, if you do one of them or do all three of them, says that individual will be raised with the Anbiya. Allah will raise him on Yawm al-Qiyamah with the Anbiya, with the Salihin, with the Siddiqeen, with the Shuhada. And these are the best of friends to have. And what are the four groups that, or what are the three types of ihsan that a person needs to be doing? The first one, the Imam alayhi salam says, the one who helps his brother with his wealth, bimalin. So helps his fellow brother believer outside of tashayyu, help someone with wealth. And we're going to look at different examples from the life of Imam al-Hasan as well, to try and understand these concepts a bit more. One day they say that Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and Abdullah bin Ja'far were sitting together in the masjid. And a man comes into the masjid and he sees someone sitting at the door and towards the entrance, and he says to him, look, I need to pay a diya, blood money, for some crime or someone that I've murdered or something like this. There's a diya on his hands. It doesn't say what he did. So he says, I need to pay a diya. Please help me. And this guy puts his hand in his pocket and pulls out 5 dirham. And he says, look, this is all I've got. And this man looks at him and says, look, I'm not a beggar. I'm here. I need to pay a diya. A diya usually it ranges from 100 camels upwards. So this person who he initially asked is from Bani Umayyah, is an Umayyi. He says, look, if there's anyone that can help you, it's that group that are sitting there. For they are the household of Karam. They are the household of Ihsan. And Ziyarat Jami' al-Kabira, and those of you that haven't read it, those that have been to Ziyarat of Imam Rada alayhi salam in Iran will know that that's one of the recommended ziyarat to be recited there, is Ziyarat Jami' al-Kabira. In there, is a total explanation of the maqam, of the position of Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam. We say in that, oh, Ahl al-Bayt, you are adatukum al-ihsan, that your habit is ihsan. It's just normal. Karam comes from you, ihsan comes from you, your generosity comes from your household. إن ذكر الخير كنتم أوله وأصله ومعدنه ومأواه ومنتهاه. And whenever there's any mention of khair, I understand that you are the origin of it, you are the end of it, you are the branches and the roots of it. All good that is in this dunya emanates from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. How and why, inshallah, that's a discussion for another day. So this man goes up to them and he says, look, I have a diya on my head, I need to pay it. Imam Hassan alayhi salam takes out 500 dirham and gives it to him. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam takes out 490 dirham and gives it to him. Now note here, this is the akhlaq of a younger brother in front of his older brother. And this can happen, different ways. In keeping the respect of your elder sibling. You know, the Imam, what he does, he gives 10 dirham less. We sometimes try and do the opposite, try and get one over on each other rather than working with each other. Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam gives 500, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he gives 490 as a sign of respect for his brother. And you'll see that throughout the life, when you read the life of Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein, there wasn't a time where Imam Hussein would ever walk in front of Imam al-Hasan or ever speak over his brother, but rather allow his brother to finish before he would speak. He would always walk behind him as a sign of respect to his older brother. And nowadays, we don't even do that for our parents, even though that is the massive recommendation that comes in ahadith as well. You know, brothers are still distant. So Imam Hassan alayhi salam gives 500. Imam Hussein alayhi salam gives 490. And then Abdullah ibn Ja'far, he gives 480 out of respect of both of them. And they hand them over to this individual and say, go pay your diya. And this person had only needed something around 1,000 dirham. He walks away, you know, happy, saying, truly, this is the household of Karam. He goes to the guy, he says, yes, you're the guy who initially pointed him, says, thank you, I went to them, they helped. Says, these are the children of Zahra alayhi salam. Why would they not give to you? So ihsan, the first stage of ihsan, or the first type of ihsan, Imam al-Hasan says, is the one with one's wealth. He's riding along on a horse one day, and someone comes up to him and says, Yabna Rasulillah, that's such a beautiful horse you have. Imam says, you like it? He says, yeah, it's beautiful. Imam says, here you go, take it. There's the reins. It's yours. Son, you know, with his wealth, he's helping. Now, I'm not saying, you know, anyone, you know, now we're going to test each other to see how much ihsan we can do. All this, a lovely car you have there. But, you know, we would struggle to do that. But this is the true level of that ihsan. You know, when the early Muslims came to Medina, the Holy Prophet of Islam, you know, when he came, the order was that the people that were there already in Medina, the Ansar, would split their wealth and their homes in half and give it to the Muhajirin that had come. And they happily did that. Right now, I don't know. We struggle to show that level of empathy for our fellow brother, fellow mu'mineen. And you know, I thought actually, now that it's come to me, you know, in these times of COVID and lockdown and the centers are closed, and we're all quite annoyed and upset, and we're like, you know, oh, I don't get to see my friends, or, you know, but at least I have my family around that I can still partake in religious events, have religious conversations. And someone brought it to my attention the other day, and you know, this is our own self-obsession that we don't think outside of our own circle, and said, you know, what about the revert brothers and sisters? Those that have left their whole family, and their family was the Shia community. You know, what have we done to try and bring them into our homes? Yeah, and someone was telling me a story of how, you know, this year during lockdown, because everyone was going and there wasn't any sort of gathering happening at the masjid, they just had the salah and left, and how painful it was for him and his family, that, you know, everyone had just gone to their own families and they were just left alone because they were reverts, you know, because, you know, no one knew them for that long, and for them, their only family that they could celebrate with was that Shia family that attended the masjid. Now that our masajid have closed, our Hussainiyas have closed, What have those brothers and sisters been doing? I know now that we're reopening again, it may be a bit too late to bring this matter up, but it's something for us to think about. How far does our ihsan actually go? You know, we can sit on manabir and pulpits and, you know, YouTube channels and Zoom calls all we want. But in reality, how far does our ihsan, our action, actually extend? So the Imam alayhi salam, he gives away his horse. Someone says it looks nice, he gives it away to that person. As you like it, take it. Maybe I can, you know, create some level of that, some semblance of that ihsan, that sakhawa within myself. That, you know, I'm not so attached to things. Certain things that I need to be you know, aware of, certain things I need to be cognizant. The second thing the Imam alayhi salam says, ihsan is doing good with one's position or honor or utilizing one's respect. So I don't necessarily have to give money, but I'm in a position of influence. So I can give a reference for someone for a job, or I can give advice to someone about their particular career path, you know, or in whatever way. It doesn't have to be a wealth. Someone needs my help, and I go and I help them. Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, 1 year is in i'tikaf, and he's doing tawaf around the Kaaba, and someone comes running in, says, Ya ibn Rasulillah, I owe someone money, but I've asked him just to give me a few more days. However, he's not waiting. He is insisting that he wants the money right now. Ya ibn Rasulillah, if you come and you tell him, he will wait. Imam says, okay, let's go. He leaves Masjid al-Haram and goes to this place, goes and he talks to this person, and the person agrees. Imam returns back to the masjid. Ibn Abbas is looking and says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, you are in i'tikaf. You can't just leave the masjid like that. Imam looks at it and says, Ibn Abbas, I heard my grandfather Rasulullah say that the one that goes to help others, says helping the one in need is greater than 1 month's worth of i'tikaf. It's a hadith of Rasulullah. Helping others is greater than 1 month sitting in i'tikaf. And it is equivalent, and it is greater than 1 week of doing tawaf around the Kaaba. Helping others. We don't even have to part with money sometimes. Just some advice. You know, some people come to us and they ask us to intervene, to help. Marriage counseling or helping with their children, trying to give advice, and we're like, oh, I don't want to get involved. This isn't not my thing. And someone's really coming to you like, look, I know you can help. And say, oh, you know, it's a bit difficult. I don't want to get involved. It'll get a bit messy. I don't really want to listen and give my advice. Or then at times you have people who won't give advice to anyone about business because they fear that, you know, their business is going to go down. They fear that, you know, somehow someone will take away from their business. You know, let's say I've got a shop selling suitcases, for example, and someone else wants to come and start selling suitcases. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to give this person advice because they're going to come and take away my business. Whereas I already know that my rizq is written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No matter who comes and whatever they do, they cannot reduce it by 1 dirham if Allah does not will. Allah has already ordained for me what is to come. So then why is it that I'm so fearful? So giving advice, helping people, with giving them my time, my expertise, doesn't have to be money. Sometimes it's just the case that, for example, in case of children or in a marriage, that person will listen to someone else. Parents sometimes come to us and they'll be like, my son doesn't, I've been telling him to pray salah, but he's not praying. Can you please tell him? I said, okay, so, what difference does it make? It says, no, because there's that element of respect, an element of love that he has for you that will make him listen. And people did this with the Prophet and the Imams. Someone would come to the Holy Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, my kid won't stop, eating sweets, or my child won't pray. Can you please tell him? Because he's not listening to me. So sometimes you just don't necessarily need to help with money, but it can be with your advice. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be, directly. Imam Hassan alayhi salam was famous for going to the marketplace and bartering. He would buy rice and flour and wheat, and he would barter and barter and barter and bring the price to the lowest fair price that person was willing to sell it at. And then he would take all of that and distribute it amongst the poor. And they would ask him, Ya Rasulullah, why is it that you're doing it? He says, look, I don't barter for myself. Whenever I need something for myself, I don't barter. But when it comes to getting the most to give away in the way of the fuqara, in the way of the poor, then I will barter and make sure that I can get the most amount so I can distribute more and they can have more. It's that mindset, We had, may Allah bless his soul, here in our hometown, an uncle who was in charge of, it wasn't officially part of any committee, but he would go around and he would bring in food for the center to use. And because he was retired, one of the things that he would do was, looking for the cheapest deal on a particular, I don't know, tea bag, or some sort of, finding the cheapest deal on some sort of milk, because he knew that this was the Imam's money, this was the center's money. It's not my own money. For myself, it doesn't really matter. Well, whereas for others, sometimes in reality, we flip this on its head. When it comes for the center or the cause of the Imam, I'm going to find the cheapest and nastiest thing I can use to just, appease the mu'mineen. But when you come to my house, only the best will do. Now, I'm not saying one way is wrong or the other, but do you see the mindset? But then at the same time, I'm saying, Allahumma ajjal li waliyika ruhi laka al-fida. I'm putting my hand on my head from the Imam. I'm willing to give my head for you. You're not willing to swap PG tips for Tesco value, or swap the Tesco value ones for the PG tips. Are you going to give a head for the Imam? Sometimes we have to question. I ask myself sometimes. When it comes to like even having guests around your house, the narrations say that when you get a guest that comes around, present them everything that you have at your disposal. Give them whatever you can. We're like, wait. Just leave these biscuits because they're the good ones. And these ones that we brought by mistake, give them to the guests. It'll be okay. They'll eat them. This is the mindset that we have. Here on one side, the Imam that we're remembering and we're celebrating his birth is when someone comes up to him and says, nice horse. He says, you like it? He says, yeah. He goes, here you go. Here's the horse. And here I am thinking, oh, but this person comes on, they're going to eat too much. How am I going to feed them? There's a huge, huge disparity. So the Imam alayhi salam would go to the marketplace, barter, get the cheapest that he could, and he would then go and distribute that amongst the cheapest price for the best quality. Then he would go and distribute that amongst the poor. And that karam of Ahl al-Bayt alayhi wasalam, that ihsan of Ahl al-Bayt alayhi wasalam, extends far beyond just the remit of the Shi'as. You know, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was one of the oldest Imams, and one night one of the companions says, I saw someone walking with bread in their hand and they dropped some. And so I ran and I said, oh, you know, let me help you. And turned around and realized it was Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. He says, Imam, you, Mawla, where are you going? He says, oh, I'm going to the area known as Bani Sa'ida to distribute bread to them. This person looks at the Imam and says, Ya Rasulullah, there's not a single Shia there. None of them even accept you as Imam over there. He says, doesn't matter. They're hungry. They're hungry. They're poor. They need the food. What do we say in the dua of the holy month of Ramadan? So Allah, feed all those that are hungry. Oh Allah, lift out of poverty all those that are poor. The dua that we recite every single day. You know, look at these du'as that we're given. Allahumma adkhil ala ahli al-qubur surur. Allahumma aghni kulla faqir. Allah, make all poor rich. Allahumma ashra' kulla ja'i. It's everyone. It's not, oh Allah, just the Shi'as that I'm asking for. It's everyone. And Imams, they would do this. Yeah. Ironically, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and no one really understands the philosophy behind the action, but the Imam would anonymously give money to his family members. And every month he would send someone with this money and say, look, go give this to my family, tell them, you know, extended family, but don't tell them it's from me. Say it's from you. And he would go and give it to them, and they'd be like, oh, may Allah bless you, you bring us this. We have a cousin, so-called Imam as-Sadiq. He never even thinks about us, but you're such a good man that you're bringing us this wealth and helping. Why the Imam hid it and all of these things? That philosophy, the Imam himself himself knows. So the second thing is using one's honor, one's respect, one's position in society to help someone else, to do good for someone else. If I'm in a position of influence and I want to try and influence other people to try and, you know, help a fellow mu'min out, use some links to try and, you know, get some work happening. Yeah, I don't know. I can only think of some council-related things, you know, planning applications, giving advice and things like that. You know, then I should use that. It doesn't cost me any money. Then the third thing Imam alayhi salam says, that is the third prong of ihsan, kalimatun tayyibah. Then he should, you know, do ihsan with good words, with good advice, with amr bil ma'ruf, in a nice way. You know, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam on Yawm al-Eid, he sees a group of youth just laughing and joking and, you know, excessively. And Imam alayhi salam goes up to them and says, can I ask you something? And they said, yes. He says, have you read the ayah of Surah Maryam, where it says that every single person shall see hell? Everyone will see hell. And only the righteous will be let out. So everyone will be, the ayah Zahiran says everyone will be taken into hell. And the riwayat and the tafasir tell us, but the fire won't be hot for them. It's just so that they can view what hell is like. And it says that, but then only the righteous will be allowed out from the fire of hell. He says, you've forgotten Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gives them maw'idha, gives them advice, you know, like, you're laughing and joking excessively, because this in itself is makruh. This is one who constantly laughs and jokes. His izzah is lowered. He will always be in a state of humiliation. People won't believe him, and multiple things about that. Imam says that to them, and they apologize to the Imam, and they thank the Imam for reminding them. So in a nice way, giving good advice, giving supportive advice to people, constructive criticism. I mean, we're great at criticism, but constructive, not so great at that side of the coin. Sometimes mu'izah requires a constant reminder. Surah Ar-Rahman has a mu'izah 31 times. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. How many of your Lord's bounties will you deny? Constantly reminding, constantly reminding the reader about the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then constantly reminding him, you are ghafil, you are inattentive. So it comes, being able to advise people. Someone else comes to Imam al-Hasan actually, and they he comes to meet the Imam, and the Imam says to him, listen, would you like me to give you some money, or would you like to, 10,000 dirham or whatever it was? So would you like me to give you this amount of money, or would you like me to give you an argument to be able to destroy the arguments of a nasibi, a hater of Ahlul Bayt that lives in your area, and he's spreading deviancy amongst the people? This person turns around and says, Imam, what would I say? But what would that individual says, Imam, give me the advice. So Imam gives him the advice, and he gives him the money. The Imam was always going to give him the money. Kareemun min awladil kiram. The Imam was always going to give him the money. But the advice, okay, when this person presents this argument, you need to say this in reply. And so this person goes off with that argument and goes into debate and discuss with that person. And deviancies occur all the time. I mean, in our time, we have plenty of deviant thoughts and people going astray. Individuals come to us all the time, like, I don't know what to do. I've received a text message, or I've received a clip from someone saying, focus on God, not on Ahlul Bayt. There's too much focus on Ahlul Bayt. This is shirk. Try focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say, look, this is an order that has been created by Allah. Allah himself endowed Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam with these positions. No. If you do tawassul and all of this, focus on Allah, be God-centric, be God-centric. The Imams are there, but your main focus should only be God. This is true, but the realm of wilayah comes before Tawheed. One must transverse and hold on to the realms of wilayah in order to be able to understand Tawheed. Deviancy is occurring, and this is something that we all need to be aware of in and amongst our communities. Different thoughts are coming, oh, this is shirk, that is shirk. If they were shirk in, doing tawassul to Ahlul Bayt, before we used to worry about the nawasib, those that were the enemies of Ahlul Bayt attacking us about shirk. Now our own are trying to say that what the vast majority are doing is shirk. And then we have many answers, but if Israel, everyone does dua, oh Allah, let him take my soul slowly, or Israel, there's the salah to recite for his good health. So when he comes, he takes my soul with love. He's not so harsh with me. Is that shirk? No, Allah has endowed him with that position. Mikael brings the rizq. Does that mean that Mikael is Raziq? No, Mikael is not the Raziq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Raziq, but he's appointed certain individuals in positions to do certain actions. Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam have a certain position, a certain maqam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed them. The role of the hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is essential in the existence of the world. It is an essential cog. Or if you look at it as an atom, the hujjah is the nucleus. If you remove the nucleus, the atom collapses. لولا حجة لساخت الأرض والسماء. If the hujjah is not present, whichever that hujjah may be, if that's Imam al-Hasan in his time, or if that's Imam al-Hujjah, our Imam in this time, you know, when the hujjah is there, the heavens and the earth exist. That's why in Dua al-Nujba, when we call out to the Imam, تعزيز علي أن أرى الخلق ولا ترى. My beloved, I see all of existence around me. I know it's because of you. ولا ترى. But where are you? Where are you? I can't see you. We know it's because of the Imam. Allah created إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية إلى آخر إلا في محبة هؤلاء الذي in Hadith Kisa. That's what we're saying. That all of this that Allah created is in what? إلا في محبة هؤلاء الذين خمس. These five that sit under the cloak. On تحت الكساء. It's for their love. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created an order to things. The hujjah is essential. And when we go into the depth of our aqa'id, and when we look at it, you know, we really haven't delved into the kalami side of imamat. You know, pick up Ziyarat Jami' al-Kabira. Look at the position of the imam. Look at the hadiths that's from like Imam al-Sajjad. Bina athmarat al-ashjar. Because of us, the fruits grow. Through us, the fruits grow on trees. Through us, the fruits become sweet. Through us, the rivers flow. Through us, the trees have leaves. Through us. So all of this is linked to the hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are things that we need to understand by knowing our own aqaid and understanding the deviancies that are occurring around us. And then being able to counter them with the third point, with nice words. So Imam alayhi salam says, ihsan is of three types. One is helping your brother with your wealth. The second is with your position. The third is with your good words. And if a person does this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise this person ma'an nabiyyin, with the prophets of God, with the siddiqeen, with the salihin, and with the shuhada. The highest positions that any human being can achieve in the akhirah. So Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam says, if you do these three things, you will achieve that. But we've observed that it's difficult. It requires an element of courage and total tawakkul ala Allah to really achieve that true ihsan. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost gives me the tawfiq to act upon that which I have said. Secondly, gives you the tawfiq to act upon that which you have heard. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives our sins. Pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives the sins of our parents. Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Allah, those who are ill, give them shifa. Those who are in debt, clear their debts. Those who are in education, make them successful. Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his true muntadreen, his true awaiters, for the acceptance of these du'as and any of the du'as that you brothers and sisters have on this most holiest of days, wherever in the world you are. Recite your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you very much, Sheikh Nabil, for that beautiful lecture. And inshallah, we can all take some points from what you said and actually implement them into our lives, inshallah. So thank you very much. And I do hope we can have you in the future, inshallah. So now we will be going ahead with the recitation by Sayyid Ali al-Hakim. I believe he is on the call. If you're ready.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm just going to replace your pin. Yep, so go ahead when you're ready. Bismillah.
جزاكم الله خير الجزاء. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي والمجتبى يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. Congratulations to you on the birth of your son, the one whose presence tinted the earth with colors of joy and celebration. Life became a beam of hope. The sun, it shone brighter, the stars glistened as they listened carefully, waiting for your announcement, O Ali, stating the arrival of this noble night. Uncovered was the night, and dawn broke upon the lands, casting light upon his hand as it rested in your hands. The air fragranced by heaven sent, for with al-Hasan the angels were sent. They'd flock to your door, sending their salutations, their words mixed between salawats and congratulations. May we live as he lived, a warrior of his time, a dedicated servant of the one so sublime, living in the intricacy of a distorted nation. He brought to their hearts hope and salvation, and he knew no difference between rich and the poor. Upon the hands that reach for aid, his love he'd pour. His patience paramount is a society. His patience paramount in a society crumbling beneath the feet of falsehood. The oppression and influence of oppressors he withstood. He kept patient By Islam's teachings he kept noble through adversity. He spoke with confidence of truth, with no shadow of a doubt, just certainty, for nothing is certain but the justice of Allah. He lived and preached by that which was left by Rasulullah. He bore a vision to spread peace through the lands. For this he would pray, for left neglected is no praying hand. He knew that Allah listened and would manifest his will if he willed. Would come tumbling a mountain to a hill. And through eras we've witnessed this manifestation. For the oppressors are forgotten, but Al-Hasan's legacy lives on. It rings through the eras, echoes, it exists in each whistling wind. We see it through each justice any leader does bring. For rooted deeply in kindness is the name of our Imam. He exists beyond all link, writing and speech, for echo through time. All of that he would preach, though history can't capture his true essence, the mind can still imagine his great presence. How we wish to have lived during his time, to live in a life he was beyond rhyme, he was beyond rhyme. حبيبي الحسن مولاي الحسن حبيبي الحسن مولاي الحسن, still relevant in today's society. The teachings of kindness and of piety, to have hope in Allah through calamity, and for Allah to serve, and for Allah serve all of humanity. Lightest lessons bring, so his praise we sing. Greatness he defines, hope he underlines. Facing troubles he kept his dedication. He maintained Islam as his inspiration. He knew compliance to falsehood would destruct. Through speech and resistance, the actions he struck. He builds foundations, erased such nations that bore his patience, his teachings, fragrance. He taught that wisdom is valued more than gold. That we need to analyze all that we are told, and only to the truth tightly we should hold. And the truth is with the Nabi and his household. Allah decided they are the guided. Allah decided they are the guided. Our hearts resided by the great teachings. We aim to serve and uphold his legacy, and hope to serve in it all that we do see. How he lived, and like him we hope we can be, and to honor his name through the 313, through the 313. He is a blessing, greatness he did bring. He is a blessing, greatness he did bring. For patience is king, he's our everything. Habibi al-Hasan, Mawlai al-Hasan, Habibi al-Hasan, Mawlai al-Hasan. And away I bore the teachings of Islam. His roots blossom flowers with petals of patience, petals of kindness, serenity, and sincerity. Each blooming through the praises of al-Muhammad. May we be from those flowers that grow through the springs, harvested only to bring solace to those around, hope those lost in darkness, and justice to the oppressed, just like Al-Hasan did to bring freedom to the locked in the shackles of society, to bring justice to humanity, just as Al-Hasan did through his patience, dedication, and piety. Got one more poem, inshallah. Normally, oops, I have somebody clapping with me, but the clapper is asleep right now, unfortunately. So I'll have to clap myself to get the rhythm and beat. Please clap at home if your marja allows you to. حسن يا المجتبى، 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 حسن يا المجتبى. Joyous was that land, a prince born there. Oh Medina, oh Medina, the sun shone brighter, fragrance the air. People would stare, people would stare. The sky now would glow for this new star. The sky now would glow for this new star. Written in the sky, welcome Mujtaba, Hasan ya al-Mujtaba, 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 Hasan ya al-Mujtaba. The roses all bloomed, earth with joy consumed. Oh holy day, oh holy day. The birds all now sang, bells of rejoice rang. Welcome our Emir, welcome our Emir. People would all call, prepare his crown. People would all call, prepare his crown. Let us celebrate from dawn till sundown. Hasan ya al-Mujtaba, 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 Hasan ya. I gifted was some gifts in his holy name. All celebrated, all celebrated. People's joy that day could now not be tamed. Can they be blamed? Can they be blamed? Their loyalty they would all proclaim. Their loyalty they would all proclaim. For with Al-Hasan great blessings did come. Hasan ya al-Mujtaba, 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 Hasan ya al-Mujtaba. The stars all aligned, on him they would shine. On him shed their lights, on him shed their lights. The moon a crescent, for with his presence it would shy away, it would shy away. What was the moon's light compared to his? What was the moon's light compared to his? The one whose noble birth nothing but bliss. حسن يا المجتبى، 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 حسن يا المجتبى. The earth stopped spinning, all came to a halt. No movement was seen, no movement was seen. All its motion stopped, him it would exalt. The son of Yasin, the son of Yasin. People came around the second Imam. People came around the second Imam. On his pure soul they sent to him salams. Hasan ya al-Mujtaba, 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 Hasan ya al-Mujtaba. Jazakumullah khair jazak. Thank you very much for participating in this event. May Allah reward the organizations Muhabban for the events of the Wilada of Imam al-Hassan. Jazakallah khair jazak to the Sheikh for his beautiful lecture.
Thank you very much, Sayyid Al-Hakim. That was a beautiful recitation, and inshallah we can soon be in our Hussainiyat and in our majalis back again, so we can celebrate in person, inshallah. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for Sheikh Nabil for your talk as well. So before we go ahead with the quiz, for all of you, if there is anyone watching online, I haven't actually checked, to participate in the quiz, you do have to join the Zoom call because there is a bit of a lag on YouTube. So for those of you that are on the Zoom call at the moment, so if you visit kahoot.it, and I will share my screen now. You should all be able to see the game pin. Just let me know if you can see that. Great, so I think people are starting to join. So we'll give it a couple of minutes just for everyone to join. So if you just write your name, preferably a name that we can kind of recognize. I don't know if Sister Nargis is on the call at the moment as well. She won yesterday. We still haven't received any information from yourself, so we can send you your prize. If you are on the call, please do email us or send us a message. We just need your email so we can send you your Amazon voucher, inshallah. So I'll give a couple of minutes for everyone to join. Someone's joined as Boris Johnson. I really hope it isn't him. So just give it a couple more minutes. One more minute and then we will start, inshallah. Okay, so we have 17 participants in total. So same as yesterday, you will see a question on the screen presented with 4 options, and on your other device that you're using, you will see the 4 colors that correspond to the answers that are on the screen. So just select the color that corresponds with the answer that you think is correct. So inshallah, we will start. So this is more of an Islamic general knowledge quiz rather than just on Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. So question 1, Ja'far al-Tayyar was the older brother of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Is this true or false? It is in fact true. Majority got that correct. Well done. Wade was the quickest there. In which country is Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam buried? Is it Iraq, Iran, Syria, or Saudi Arabia? Should be a straightforward one, hopefully. It is, of course, in Syria. Hassan Farouk is now at the top from yesterday as well. In which battle was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's uncle Hamza martyred? Was it in the Battle of Khandaq, Badr, Khaybar, or Uhud? It was in the Battle of Uhud. Well done to Russia, highest answer streak. What is the name of the angel that will blow the trumpet signaling the day of judgment? Is it Israfil, Azrael, Mikael, or Jibrail? So 16 of you. It is in fact Israfil, so only 4 got that correct. Hassan still on top. In which city are prophets Adam and Nuh buried? Is it Medina, Najaf, Damascus, or Mecca? One more person to answer. It is Najaf. Which dua is recommended to be recited specifically on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of Ramadan? Is it Iftitah, Dua Mujir, Joshan al-Kabir, or Abu Hamza Thumali? Inshallah, we'll all be reciting this during these coming nights as well. 2 more people to answer. It is, of course, Dua Mujir. Which of the following animals do not have a surah of the Quran named after them? Is it the spider, the ant, the camel, or the bee? One more. Would have been good to have these in Arabic as well to help, but we'll test you guys. It is, in fact, the camel. Hassan, Batul, and Rasha on top. Which surah in the Quran does not contain a verse with an obligatory sajda? And this has double points. Is it Surah An-Najm, Hajj, Alaq, or Fusilat? Which does not contain a verse with an obligatory sajda. It is Surah Al-Hajj. Well done. According to several narrations, which of these women are one of the 4 leaders of women in paradise? Is it Prophet Musa's mother, alayhi salam, Sayyidah Zainab, Asiya, or al-Banin? It is Asiya, alayhi salam. Remains unchanged. In Ziyarat Amin Allah, who is Amin Allah referring to? Is it Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, or Imam Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajhu sharif? Who is Amin Allah referring to? It is Imam Ali alayhi salam. Zahra Abdul Aziz has a streak with 6 correct answers. That's impressive. Which Imam of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam spoke to a lion? Was it Imam Ali al-Hadi, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Ali al-Rida alayhi salam, Imam Muhammad al-Jawad alayhi salam? It's an interesting story, this one, so if you get it, I'll be impressed. It is Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam. So 4 of you got that correct. The Islamic calendar is based on which cycle? An easy one here. So solar, astronomical, mercurial, or lunar? It is, of course, the lunar cycle. In what Islamic year was the Battle of Siffin? Was it 37 AH, 38, 39, or 40 AH? It was 37 after Hijrah. Zahra Abdul Aziz is creeping up. Which prophet of Allah had the ability to speak to animals? Was it Prophet Dawood, Prophet Musa, Sulaiman, or Isa alayhi salam? Well, that's all 17 of us. Brilliant. It was actually Prophet Sulaiman, which majority of you got correct. In which 2 chapters is Prophet Ilyas alayhi salam mentioned? Is it Baqarah and Yusuf, An'am and Safat, Ankabut and Alaq, or Nahl and Ikhlas? It is Surah Al-An'am and Safat. Which of the following is not a food item mentioned in the Quran? Honey, olives, fig, or kebab? Bit of an easy one. That's all 17 of us, so I'm going to skip that. It is, of course, the kebab. Thankfully. How old was Imam Kadhim alayhi salam when he became Imam? Was he 19, 20, 21, or 22? "17 of us, lovely." It was 21. Hassan Farouk still on top. Who from the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam does Imam as-Sadiq share a birthday with? Is it Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, or Imam Baqir alayhi salam? It is Rasulullah. Question 19. What is the first surah of Juz' Amma? The 30th Juz'. Is it Al-Nazi'at, Al-Naba, Abasa, or At-Takwir? It is An-Naba. 7 people got that correct. Question 20. Who is Imran mentioned in Surah Ali Imran? Who does it refer to? Is it the grandfather of Ibrahim, the grandfather of Musa, the grandfather of Isa, or the grandfather of Yusuf alayhi salam? It is in fact the grandfather of Isa. How many surahs start with Bismillah? So how many surahs in the Quran start with a Basmala? 114, 113, 112, and 111. There's 114 surahs in the Quran, so go from there. I don't know if that was a hint, probably not. It is 113, so there's only one surah that doesn't have the Basmala. Question 22. Which 2 prophets are said to be buried in Wadi Salam? Is it Nuh and Adam, Hud and Saleh, Musa and Dawood, or Isa and Nuh? Wadi Salam in Najaf, of course. It is Hud and Saleh. How many brothers did Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam have? Was it 9, 10, 11, or 12? It is in fact 11, إحدى عشر يسجدان, as the hadith says. How many surahs have a prophet's name in the title? Is it 6, 7, 8, or 9? So how many surahs in the Quran are named after a prophet? It is 6 surahs in the Quran. Question 25. Which of the Imams is known as Bab al-Hawaj? Is it Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam, Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, or Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam? They all, of course, have a degree of accepting our hajat, but one in particular is known as Bab al-Hawaj. It is, of course, Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam. Where was Lady Fatima alayhi salam born? Was it Mecca, Medina, Kufa, or Damascus? It was in fact Mecca. Hassan's on top still. Question 27. Which surah has 2 basmalas? So it mentions Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim twice. Surah al-Baqarah, Surah al-An'am, Surah Yasin, or Surah al-Naml? It is Surah al-Naml. Well done. Question 28. How many du'as are in Sahif al-Sajjadiyah? Is it 51, 52, 53, or 54? It is in fact 54 du'as. How many verses in the Quran require mandatory prostration? Is it 14, 15, 16, or 17? It is 15. Only one got that correct. Question 30. What is the biggest land animal mentioned in the Quran? Is it the lion, the elephant, the horse, or the dinosaur? It is, of course, the elephant, al-fil. 15 of you got that correct. Question 31. Which surah is considered the heart of the Quran? Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Kawthar, Surah Yasin, or Surah Al-Qadr? Hopefully an easy one as well. It is, of course, Surah Al-Yasin. Surah Al-Fatiha is considered the head of the Quran, and the heart is the Surah Yasin. What is Abu Talib's real name? Is it Imran, Abdullah, Zakaria, or Yunus? It is Imran. Leaderboard isn't moving. In the Quran, which is the best drink mentioned? Is it wine, leban, water, or iron brew? Leban, some might say, is milk, although it is somewhat of a different variation to milk. Of course, it is leban. What day was Imam Baqir alayhi salam born? Was it the 3rd of Rajab, 4th of Rajab, 5th or 6th of Rajab? It is the 5th of Rajab. Quite an equal share amongst those answers. 35. Who was Prophet Musa alayhi salam adopted by? Was it Pharaoh and Asya, Pharaoh and Amina, Pharaoh and Zulaykha, or Pharaoh and Sarah? One more to answer. It was, of course, Pharaoh and Asya. Which salah can be recited without performing wudu? Is it Salat al-Layl, Salat al-Nayt, Salat al-Safar, or Salat al-Fajr? It is Salat al-Nayt, which you all got correct. Question 37. How long was Imam Mahdi Ajallah Ta'ala Farajah Sharif in his minor occultation? Was it 68, 69, 70, or 71 years? It is 69 years. Question 38. Which Imam did Dua Abu Hamza Thamali come from? So which Imam taught Abu Hamza Thamali this dua for it to then be named after him? Is it Imam al-Baqir, Imam al-Kadhim, Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, or Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam? He was, of course, Imam as-Sadiq. How many children did Imam al-Rida alayhi salam have? Was it 1, 2, 3, or 4? It was 1. Tasmiyah is coming up to second. What was the depth, width, and length of the trench in the Battle of Khandaq? Bit of a difficult one. 5 by 6 by 12, 5 by 4 by 10, 4 by 6 by 12, or 7 by 5 by 10. It was 5 by 6 by 12. Question 41. Which animal is it not obligatory to pay zakat if owned? So if you own this animal, who do you not have to pay zakat over? Camel, cow, horse, or a sheep? It is a horse, which majority of you got correct. In which year did Abu Dhar al-Ghafari die? Was it 30 AH, 32, 34, or 36 after Hijrah? It was 32 after Hijrah. Majority got you right as well. Question 43. Which prophet had a community who built homes in the mountains? Was it Ibrahim alayhi salam, Adam alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, or Salih alayhi salam? So they would carve their homes into the mountains. It was Salih alayhi salam. Question 44. How many people are in Ashab al-Kahf? Emphasis on people. Correct, it was 7 and Thamenahum, so the 8th person was their dog. Which surah contains 2 sajdas? Is it Surah Al-Hajj, Surah Ali Imran, Surah Yasin, or Surah Al-Baqarah? It is Surah Al-Hajj. Question 46. Which surah starts and ends with a tasbih? Is it Surah Al-Infitar, Surah Al-Buruj, Surah Al-Hashr, or Surah Al-Asr? It is Surah Al-Hashr. I'm getting a bit of movement now. 47. In which surah is the name of Allah repeated in every verse? Is it Surah Al-Hajj, Surah Al-Mujadila, Al-Hadid, or Al-Ahzab? It is Surah Al-Mujadila. Question 48. How many times is Prophet Harun alayhi salam mentioned in the Quran? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6 times? Nabi Harun. It is 4 times. "49. Which religious community is mentioned more times in the Quran? Is it the Jewish community or the Christian community? Who gets mentioned more?" It is the Christian community, which was a bit of a shock to me as well, because I thought it was the Jewish one. Last question. How many times is Angel Jibra'il mentioned in the Quran? Is it 2, 3, 4, or none of the above? It is 3 times. So let's see who made it onto the podium. So 3rd place, Tasmiyah, well done. 2nd place, Sahar Batul, well done from yesterday as well. And 1st place, well deserved, of course, Hassan Farouk. So congratulations, everyone. I will just stop sharing this now. Before you do go as well, just mute this one. Before you do go, just make sure to give us your email addresses. So Sahar, I already have yours. Tasmiyah and Hassan Farouk, if you could both leave your email addresses within the chat box, or message one of us either on Instagram, or if you have either of the committee's numbers, then please do message them. Perfect. Mehdi, I think you're on the call, so can you just note that down for me, please? Yeah, he's still here. Perfect. So thank you very much for joining us today. I do hope that it was enjoyable, and also you learned a little something from the chef's lecture, and that you join us again when we have our future events, inshallah, and hopefully it can be in person soon. But thank you very much for joining us all. Inshallah, enjoy your iftar, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I pray you all have a blessed Ramadan, and we'll keep in touch, inshallah, in the coming days.